assistance, job opportunities, VA benefits, child care services, medical services, as well as vehicle-related support. We don't expect you guys to know everything, to have like some kind of like specific expertise and resources. That's kind of where we, as supported leaders, come in as well to be a support for you guys. If your service member does express a need and you're not sure of where to direct them to, you can always contact us. Endeavor CIC is your go-to for support. We'll help you identify the right organizations or programs and make sure you're equipped to provide a warm handoff when needed. If you're working with a service member in a region we have not built out yet, please do not hesitate to let us know. We're always trying to expand our resource network as well and appreciate any gaps that can help us identify that for future situations as well. We want to make sure that everybody is aware that nobody is alone in this as being a mentor for a service member, because it can be sometimes a stressful situation, having to not only be someone for yourself, but be a support for another person. It's okay to not have all the answers. You just need to be willing to ask and to connect with us. And we would be happy to be a support for everyone. Community resources. As an effective mentor, it's important to keep the following in mind when sharing resources. This slide highlights a few key practices to remember when sharing resources with your service member. First, not everyone will say, "I need help." Your role is to listen between the lines. Sometimes what sounds like a casual complaint is simply a request for support. Second, always aim to offer more than one resource for any given need. This avoids the appearance of favoritism, gives your service member a sense of agency, and also helps them to find the option that works best for them in their situation. If you happen to have a personal or professional tie to a resource, be transparent about it. It's important to avoid any appearance of bias. Your goal is to support, not to steer them. Also, try not to jump into problem solving mode. Instead, focus on being a support, helping your service member to build that confidence and the tools needed to be more self-sufficient, for them to be able to set up the goals for themselves, as well as to potentially be someone that will, yes, need support, but be more self-sufficient to be able to research resources for themselves along the way. This is also a sense of empowerment as well, and it can also help to build rapport in the long run. And finally, remember, you don't always have to do this alone. If a need does come and you're not sure where to turn, your Endeavor CIC is just a call, a text, or an email away. Okay, so if you will go ahead and do role play 2.
All right, I hope you all had a good time with role play 1 because we're doing it again. This time it's role play number 2. All right, so the whole purpose of this one is goals and resources. So the first one, we've already built rapport. We've got that little scenario, so remember kind of what you had talked about. We're going to build on that same scenario and do a little bit of goal setting and resources. So a little background, right? We've already built a rapport with the service member, and now you need to listen to any concerns they might have. Help build the goals. Talk about resources that you might know of to educate them. And remember, if you don't know all the resources, you can say something like, hey, I might not have all the answers right now, but let me look some things up and I'll email you, I'll call you back, etc., right? Because we don't always have the answers right now. Start by asking the service member how they're doing now that they've begun their transition out of the Army or whatever branch of service it was, and then what kind of questions you would ask them. What would you do if you didn't have any resources for that service member at the moment? So those are just things to think about as we continue our own example role play. Hello?
Hi, Jesse. This is Jacqueline, your mentor. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I know that last time we spoke, you were thinking about a big move and you were a little nervous about getting out of the military. I wanted to check in and see how things are going since then.
Oh my goodness, I'm glad you called because I don't know if we made the right decision or not, but I convinced Kimberly to move. I didn't have a job yet, but we just went ahead and moved everything to Austin, and now we're here.
How is it going here? How are you feeling about being here?
Well, rent is way more expensive than I thought it was going to be. To be completely honest, I'm having trouble finding a job still. Kimberly's working at a restaurant, making ends meet, but I don't know. Life is getting hard. I don't know if we should have moved to Austin. I'm a little worried about where our next meal is going to come from. And I'm like I said, I just can't even find a job right now. I don't know what to do.
I am hearing that you're in a pretty stressful situation and you're maybe feeling a little bit of regret about your move. I'm also hearing that maybe your two top priorities right now are food and finding a job.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go without food so my kids could eat, but I definitely need to find a job, and I need to be able to get a job so we have enough money for it. So you're absolutely correct.
So I know that there are a lot of food resources in your area
Okay.
that you moved to. I don't know them off the top of my head, but I can look them up and I can send you some information on them in a little bit.
Okay.
Also, your job, what are you thinking about doing for your job? What are you looking at right now?
I have a little bit of background in construction. Pre-military, when I was in the military, kind of like we had talked about before, I did, it doesn't really translate to anything in the civilian sector, but I do have some experience with construction, so I need to start applying for more construction type jobs. I'm great with my hands, and I could be basically any kind of laborer.
I know that sometimes when there's something that I'm working on, it helps for me to come up with a goal.
Okay.
Can we come up with a goal together to help you apply for jobs?
What do you think?
How many jobs are you hoping to apply for this week?
Should I set like a number, like a specific number?
I would recommend setting a number so you know that you've accomplished it.
Well, I'm all about this, so let's go big or go home. I'll apply for at least 10 jobs a week.
Okay, that sounds great. And do you have a resume?
I do. I don't know if it's that great or not, but
I'm happy to take a look at it for you.
okay. I've also heard that there's people out there that write resumes from veterans. Is that true?
That is definitely true. I can send you a couple of those resources too when I send you the information about food.
Okay.
I'm going to send you an email with all those, and I'm also going to check in at the end of the week and see how applying for jobs is going.
Okay, and so I'm gonna apply for 10 construction jobs per week. I'm pretty sure I can do that.
You can absolutely do that.
Okay. What do you guys think? Was that pretty good? Round of applause for us. Thank you, Jacqueline. All right, so we're gonna split up in the same groups we did before, about 5 minutes for each scenario. I'll give you a halfway mark, and we'll work on